I don't have my phone with me. I feel like crap. I did this, well, Pittsburgh's up 3-1. The Islanders are up 3-1, last I saw. I have a fever, I have chills, yada yada yada. I guess while the computer was taken upstairs and brought back downstairs, I guess the microphone was unplugged. The wonderful thing with this microphone is, when that red light is on, it means it's working. However, it doesn't. So, that's the first time that's happened in a while. I apologize. I got the Detroit-Pittsburgh game on. Jimmy Howard looks brutal, but whatever. I'm wearing a hoodie over my jersey because I've been alternating between hot and cold. Anyways, let's try this again. Let's talk Philly and New Jersey, shall we? Since, you know, that ticks me off, but there's nothing I can do about it. I would have caught it if I wasn't sick, but I'm still sick. Anyhow, Philly and New Jersey. You've got a Philadelphia team looking to get back into the playoffs and a New Jersey team looking to stay in the playoffs. I personally think that it depends which Philadelphia Flyers show up. I'm not overly concerned about New Jersey, but it really depends which Philadelphia Flyers show up. And it would take a miracle for Pittsburgh to lose. The Rangers, Islanders, with Halak in net, you want to say, well, he'll shut it down, but if he was the shutdown kind of goaltender, we wouldn't be where the Islanders are right now. I also mentioned in the other video I did that had no audio, I mentioned the Columbus game from last night. I listened to it. I didn't see it. Columbus is flirting with missing the playoffs. If the Islanders win and Pittsburgh wins, they're more than flirting with it. We're getting ready to miss the playoffs. Pittsburgh, maybe it's just because it's Detroit, but Pittsburgh has looked pretty dominant. And we'll see if New Jersey and Philly are able to equal what these teams are doing. It's a dogfight in that division. Absolute dogfight. Alright. Boston's in Montreal. What I said in the video that I did this morning was that Montreal owns Boston for the most part. Tuukka Rask doesn't play well against Montreal. Carey Price plays fantastic against the Boston Bruins. They're both coming out of the bye. I anticipate Montreal winning because it's Boston. It's Boston. And their record against Montreal goes back decades, and for decades, any heartbreaking defeat that Boston has suffered, most of them are against Montreal. Boston plays Montreal 3 times in the next 2 weeks. 10, 11 days. If they win all 3 games, you can go ahead and bury the Montreal Canadiens season. If Montreal wins all 3, you can probably bury Boston's hopes of finishing 3rd in the division, or 2nd in the division. It's a team that, on paper, you go, well, Boston should be able to beat them. They've got the good young forwards. They've got the good young defensemen. They've got a pretty lethal attack. Rask is back to being Rask. But, it's Boston, Montreal, and traditionally that hasn't worked. And my cup's over there. I have my Porg cup. Yvonne bought me a Porg cup last night. She was at Metro Town Mall. Got me some more hangers for my jerseys from Sears. She's a good lady. I'm not drunk. I'm just very, very out of it. I wish I was drunk, but I'm not going to drink when my stomach's been all for the last 24 plus hours. I didn't throw up last night, though. I didn't throw up. I thought I was going to a couple of times, but I didn't. We'll see if I throw up during the Montreal-Boston game tonight. That's possible. Speaking of games that might make me want to throw up, the Colorado Avalanche are against Dallas. Colorado is playing some of the best hockey in the NHL right now, as is Dallas. Dallas has been very good. They were very good going into the bye. But Colorado has this special thing going on with that first line. Colorado has, I think, the inside track on the last playoff spot right now. The way they've been playing, absolutely. And I'm well aware of what that would mean. That there's a couple of teams in that division that won't make the playoffs because of the Colorado Avalanche. Tonight is another one of those games. If they can win this divisional game, if they can win it in regulation, they pull Dallas back 2 more points towards them. And Colorado's been playing very, very well. So we'll see what happens there. Just my answer to pretty much everything. I don't know. The Oilers are in Vegas. Oilers are coming off of a 4-2 win over the Arizona Coyotes last night. It wasn't an inspirational win, but it's a win. When you beat Arizona, then good. Then you didn't lose to the worst team in the league. Now Edmonton gets to go into Vegas on the birthday of Connor McDavid, or McJesus as people call him as well. That's why I've started calling Austin Matthews God. So you have God and you have Jesus. Anyways, all kidding aside, and speaking of kidding, there's an article about how, it's on ESPN, about how maybe the Leafs should trade Austin Matthews. I may be sick, but I'm not that sick. That's just ridiculous. Anyways, we've got the best player we've had in our organization in decades. Let's trade him. Yeah, okay. Anyways, Vegas is at home against the Edmonton Oilers, and this to me feels like an upset. I've been waiting for the Oilers to have a big game against a really good team, and maybe tonight's the night. And if you're a Vegas fan and you say, I knew all along Vegas was going to be first, you're a liar. We all know you're a liar. You know you're a liar. And we'll move on. Jari's playing well today. Again, Pittsburgh wins a bunch of games with Jari. Tell me that's not going to affect Matt Murray when he comes back. When he's in net. Anyway. My concentration's a little off today. I feel like I'm a step behind the conversation, even though I'm talking to myself. And it's hard to concentrate. And I look like the Unabomber right now, so that's pretty cool. But it is a Rammstein hoodie. This was from the Leaf Ad concert I went to in 2011 in Edmonton. Yeah, I went to Edmonton. So there you go. We can go ahead and loop that into this game. Yeah, this to me feels like it could be an upset. The Oilers played last night. Vegas has had their bye. They're coming out of the bye week. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier this week, but Gary Bettman has said that if there's complaints about coming out of the bye week this year, and teams saying that they lost games because they were coming out of the bye week and they don't like it, then they may do away with it next year. I thought it was interesting hearing Kevin Shattenkirk saying that at 3 days they were ready to get back to work. So I could see the NHL, instead of doing a 5 days off, do 2 3-day off resting periods during the season. Maybe early December and late February, that kind of thing. Where maybe a bunch of teams have that time off. Like the bye weeks this year. But we'll see. Vegas will probably end up killing Edmonton, and my whole prediction goes right out the window. That's pretty likely, actually. Alright, next up. Winnipeg and Minnesota. Central Division matchup. Minnesota's closer to Winnipeg now than they were a few weeks ago. Winnipeg is still first place in their division. But coming off of that loss to Chicago last night, they're going to want to win tonight. Jeff Glass had a great game, but that's a game Winnipeg needs to win, and that since they lost it, they need to win this one. They need to win it in regulation. Don't give Minnesota a point. Minnesota's getting far too confident right now. Don't give them a point. If you look at the game between them and Colorado a week ago, you can look and say, oh, well, Minnesota's not that great. But you look at the rest of the games around that one, and Minnesota's been playing really well. As has Winnipeg. This could be the game of the night. Anytime I say game of the night, it usually doesn't work out that way. Doesn't it? Again, I'm having trouble concentrating. Okay, next up. Because there's not a whole lot to talk about this one other than one's in a back-to-back and one's coming out of the bye. I think Minnesota's coming out of the bye. Again, kind of fuzzy. Anaheim and the LA Kings. So Anaheim and the LA Kings. The Ducks are looking to get back into the playoffs. The Kings are looking to put some space between themselves and the teams behind them and hope to catch up to the Vegas Golden Knights. This should be a very interesting game. I would think that LA wins this one, but the Anaheim Ducks are back into that hunt. And they're back into that hunt at a time when they're getting healthy. So the Ducks could absolutely go on another run in the second half. And over the last three seasons, they've gone on a run in the second half of the season. Now is the time to start that run. With a regulation win over the Kings, they can get back into that conversation. That's why you've got the Flames that are in there. You've got San Jose, the Kings, the Vegas Golden Knights, and the Ducks are at least in shouting distance. You do have Vancouver, Edmonton, and Arizona, which weighs down the division in general. But I think Anaheim's ready to join the upper crust and maybe drop down below the others. All right, the last game of the night. The last game of the night is San Jose at home against Arizona. The Sharks in Arizona. This is a game I wouldn't have been watching not that long ago. Yvonne's now telling me there's no messaging in the video. I know. I just deleted it, and now I'm doing this one because the world hates me today and yesterday. But I called in to my regular job today, and I'm doing videos for you guys instead. And I got other stuff to talk about, like Arizona and the San Jose Sharks. Arizona had a half-decent game against the Oilers last night, but again, anytime that I watch an Arizona game, it's clear to me they just don't quite have what they need to win on almost any given night. Buffalo, I think, has what it takes to win. They just can't put it all together. I think that's the difference between Arizona and Buffalo. I think Buffalo is the better team. But you can really... you'd really struggle to get even a piece of paper between the two in the standings. So, San Jose should win this one. Arizona's on a back-to-back. San Jose's been pretty good. Alright, pretty good. Anyways, there you go, guys. I apologize that I'm scatterbrained today, and I apologize for the first video not having the required sound to make the video work properly. So I blame that absolutely on being sick, because that hasn't happened in a long time. I'm pretty good about making sure that I do this. I do that, and then I play the video back. So I'll record it for 2 seconds, tap the microphone, play it back, and go, alright, we got sound, and then I do the video. I did that this time. I didn't do it the first video this morning. With apologies, here I am late. Too late to really talk about these two games. But it's Pittsburgh beating up Detroit. It really is. You shouldn't get that many breakaways, 2-on-1s, and just overall easy play, where the ice is completely open for you at all times. Especially when you're Malkin, Crosby, and Kessel. And they're making mincemeat out of that defense. Thanks for watching. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. This is an achy hockey guy with apologies. This is the updated video. I'll talk to you again soon.